Okay, here we go. I have been talking about Escape from Tarkov over on my Instagram account for a number of years now. Every time I post something, I will always get a DM straight through, and people will ask, hey, I've heard a lot about this game. Is it worth buying? Is it for me? What's it like? Etc, etc. And so I thought I'd make a video on just that topic. Let's go. I'll give you the short version first, which is I definitely think that this game is worth a purchase. However, there's a few asterisks, and in order to kind of better prepare you, I want to tell you a little bit about the game first. It isn't for everyone. First and foremost, Tarkov is a hardcore, realistic, online first-person shooter with RPG, simulator, MMO style features, and also with a story-driven arc over the whole thing. In order to tell you a little bit about Tarkov, I need to set the stage a little bit. First and foremost, Tarkov is set in a place called Novinsk in this region that is between Russia and Europe. In that particular place, in Tarkov, the main city, think of it as like this super up-and-coming, bustling place, loads of corporate businesses coming in, loads of money, it's doing great, all the rest of it. However, because of the fact that they're trying to build it up so quickly, some of the rules, regulations, laws that most people have to deal with when, coming up with developments and stuff, kind of goes by the wayside. Now, because of that, a corporation known as Terror Group, not the best name, they come in and settle up a HQ in Tarkov. This particular group are into some shady stuff, and they hire a Western-based private military group in order to come in, kind of clean house a little bit, protect them and also get rid of some of the wrongdoings. There's a bit of a political scandal at play here. The best way that you can find out the story properly for yourself is to watch the short film that Escape from Tarkov made. It's fantastic. It's one of the most cinematic things I've ever seen. Really, really good. If you want to know the whole story, I thoroughly suggest you watch it. It's a bit of a, to be honest, it's a bit of military porn, to be honest with you. It is so well made. Action sequences in this little thing are fantastic. Oh, so good. Love it. Honestly, go watch it. To wrap up quickly, supposedly here, the Russian government send in another military group known as Bear, and they are there to go into the region, find out what the hell is going on, and figure out, what these sort of private military people are up to and what this corporation is up to. Things break down, and essentially the whole region is put onto lockdown when sort of immense firefighting breaks out between these two groups. So the Russian military and also the UN come in, and they completely border the Novinsk region and, sort of the wider sort of Tarkov city and the areas. And no one's allowed in, no one's allowed out, and that's where we start Escape from Tarkov. It's worth noting that Battlestate Games here have a much wider view for the games in general, and Escape from Tarkov is a bit of a love child of two games that have come previously, and is also part of a bigger game called Russia 2028, which is kind of what Escape from Tarkov is building to. They're building a bit of a universe here. It's all really incredible. If you want to know more, there's plenty of videos out there on the internet that kind of deep dive on the entire thing. It's definitely worth a watch. The story of this game is super rich and really interesting. Now, first and foremost, Tarkov is absolutely brutal. It is unforgiving. It's downright unfair. The game honestly feels like it has it out for you sometimes, and I kind of like that. It doesn't hold your hand. It doesn't shy away from the fact that it's a really hardcore game and hardcore in its nature, and there's lots of mechanics at play, lots of things to learn. If you're looking for an arcade run and gun shooter, Tarkov is definitely not it. However, if you persevere and stick with it, it's so rewarding. Now, later on, the game may change a little bit. Right now, it is instance-based. I do believe the developers eventually want to make the game completely open. Asterisks, maybe one or two areas will be sort of their own separate place, but for the most part, I do believe they want the entire map to be open and explorable, which would be crazy. The maps on their own are pretty big, but there we go, by the by. Each one of these instance areas right now you can enter with a set amount of other players. As you enter one of these maps, your main goal is to extract, I suppose, alive. Although along the way you will have a set amount of quests, Some of them may be to kill people, they might be to extract items, they might be to, find certain bits of intel from that particular map. And that's all kind of set up between 8 different traders in the game who kind of give you different stories and quests and stuff to do along the way. So it's not just go into a map, shoot everyone in sight, although you absolutely can. There might be other things, some more passive quests and stuff that you may have to do as well. Each map, like I say, will have a set amount of player characters on it. It will also have a set amount of scavs on there as well, scavengers for short. Now, these are mostly kind of AI-controlled, sort of entities in the game. There's also bosses among them as well, sort of enemies that will have higher tier loot. There's all sorts of different stuff. Some of them are really cool. You should check them out for yourself if you do plan on getting the game. There's all kind of things from cultists to rogues and kind of crazy armored bosses and that sort of stuff. There's also player scavs as well. Now, because Tarkov is so brutal, you can lose your stuff at any given time. If you die in Tarkov, you lose everything that you found in raid and that you also took in. So if you take in your big shiny gun and you get head tapped, you've lost that. There is an asterisk here. The insurance does play a bit of a role. You can insure your gear, and anything that isn't then taken by another player upon your death, you will get back at a later time through insurance. This really kind of sets Tarkov apart from many other games on the market, in terms of things like Call of Duty, for example, where you can just buy a loadout, pick your favorite gun and your favorite loadout and just spawn in time and time again with that loadout. Tarkov isn't like that. If you die, you will lose that equipment, and the only way to get it back will be to kill someone else and take their gear, or buy and modify and do those things to your weapons yourself, which again costs actual money. When I say actual money, I mean in-game money, not real currency. There's no microtransactions in this game. I just thought I should put that in there really quickly. Now, because of the fact that you're sort of buying and maintaining your own weapons and loadouts yourself, there is a degree of kind of like, treating your gear properly. You will have to, repair them if things go wrong. If you're shot and your armor is damaged, you may need to pay to have that repaired. You might have to repair items in your gun. Failure to do so could mean that your gun jams, malfunctions, all of the above, overheats. Putting too many rounds down the gun too quickly may cause it to overheat and malfunction. There's loads of kind of realistic elements to the game that isn't just your normal, I start with 200 rounds and I'm just going to spray everything in sight. Tarkov is not like that. I'm looking at you, Call of Duty. So touching a little bit more on the scav characters, if you lose everything when you die in your PMC, scavs are a little bit different. When you load into the game, you'll be faced with your PMC character, and you'll also be faced with the scav. The scav is completely random, and when you select the scav and load into a game of your choice, a map of your choice, you'll be given a random gun. You might have random equipment. You could already start with get the luck of the draw and have an expensive item in your backpack already that you might want to get out, for example. But these are all kind of free for you, no risk, all of the reward. If you successfully extract with this scav character and the items that you then obtain from the raid itself, you get to add them to your main PMC stash. From here, you can either sell the items outright in order to gain more money for your PMC, or you can, turn them in for quest rewards. You can, tear them down and use some of the items yourself, or, use them to kind of further your hideout, your loadouts, all of these different things. Once you do that, the scav will then go on a timer and allow you to, continue playing on your PMC until that timer goes to 0, in which case you will get another scav player with a completely new random set of gear. There's all sorts of other systems at play here as well when it comes to scav, although to be honest, that would be a completely separate video on its own, like scav karma and other bits like that. All you really need to know for now is that it's a free character, and if you die, it's no real kind of negative impact on you because it was all free in the first place. So as well as all of this, your character, it also takes sort of realistic damage. There's things to take into consideration like hydration, energy, wounds. You can have blood loss from gunshots. There's fractures, contusions, intoxication, exhaustion, tremors. all sorts of different things in the game that can affect your PMC, and you have to deal with them in different ways as you're sort of progressing through the game, in combat, that sort of thing. If you take a gunshot, you might need to bandage, you might need to deal with a light bleed, a heavy bleed. Those things require different medications. You may have to, you know, sort of perform surgery on yourself in the field if you've taken particular bad damage. If you say you've taken shots to the legs, it may cause you to limp until you deal with that wound. Taking too many arm shots, for example, may you know, cause your aim to not be as good and that sort of thing. You know, you might be wearing a helmet and take a bullet to the head and survive it, but you might then have to deal with a tremor, which causes your vision to be really blurry. There's loads of different effects in games that tries to make it feel, again, as realistic as possible while still being playable and enjoyable. Tarkov really prides itself on, you know, having the weapons and the feel of the combat as kind of close as possible as to real life. They've gone to extraordinary lengths to make sure the guns kind of operate, look, you know, and feel the way that they should do. That includes the way that their sort of ballistics work, you know, hit physics, all of those things in the game. You know, certain things that you can shoot through versus some things that are stop, you know, ammunition. It really has probably one of the most advanced weapon modding systems in any game that I personally have ever played. I'll show you some of that on screen now. The modding system in the game is unreal. You can really change the way that the weapon operates. There's loads of different things to you know, consider, like the weapon jamming, overheating. It has general wear out over time. You know, you can reload in different ways, some of which are quicker than others. It's honestly, it's so in depth, and the game is honestly blows my mind every single time I play it. I absolutely love it. I wanted to try and keep this video as short as possible, although talking about Escape from Tarkov is a bit of a slippery slope. You could be here talking about the game for honestly ages. I've taught probably like 5 or 6 of my friends now how to play the game, all of the nitty gritty. You know, I've sort of convinced people to get it and to play with me, and we're having an absolute blast. Honestly, the game is fantastic. You can play it solo, although it does really shine in a group. Just bear in mind that there's no HUD elements in the game, so communication is really key in order to make sure that you don't friendly fire, kill your teammates, which is possible, you know, from anything from bullets to grenades and all of the above. So you really have to be careful, and communication is really kind of fundamental when you're playing the game, especially with a group of people. Although I do think the game shines so much better with a group. Which kind of nicely leads me on to my next point, which is I'm always looking for people to play the game with, and if you are someone that's kind of on the fence right now and unsure about getting it, more than happy for you to drop a comment down below. You know, hit me up, join the Discord, you know, channel, all of the above. Get in some games if you want to play with people. There's myself and a couple of my friends that do try and get on the regular, and like I say, the game really does shine in a group of people. More than happy to kind of help guide you through, play some games. You know, if you have any questions or you're having any troubles, just drop me a message. I'm more than happy to help. I'm super passionate about the game, and that's why you'll see more Escape from Tarkov content here on the channel in the future, as well as all the tech stuff that I've been doing, because this is kind of the game that I'm always going to. This video is actually kind of difficult to make because the game has so many systems and things to talk about that it really, honestly, I could be here forever. I may do some other, you know, kind of introduction videos in the future, but this is really for the people that have been messaging me now for the past, you know, sort of year or two whenever I post about the game, asking about it, to kind of give you a little bit of flavor of what it is, what it's about, and you can kind of see for yourself if it is something that you think you may enjoy. So that brings us to the end of the video. I have been playing Escape from Tarkov for a few years now and absolutely love it. This is the first wipe that I'm really kind of, you know, sinking my teeth into and really enjoying and kind of trying to do everything rather than just play it casually. I will be uploading more Tarkov content to the channel. I'm sort of planning on doing more gameplay stuff, and I've been wondering how to kind of, you know, incorporate that for a while. I play so much Tarkov in my spare time that this is what I'm going to focus on. You will see far more Escape from Tarkov videos coming to the channel soon, and when the tech stuff comes in and I'm going to do reviews and stuff like that, I will do them on the channel as well, but Tarkov is really going to be the main focus for a while, just because it's kind of what I'm playing right now, what I'm enjoying, and it makes sense for me. I'm loving the game and creating content for it, so you're going to see more of this in the future. And so, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.